Welcome to our mouth-watering adventure on how to make apple pie like a pro. Whether you're a seasoned baker or just starting out, this video will take you on a culinary journey, teaching you the secrets and techniques to create a tantalizing apple pie that will impress friends and family alike. From the buttery, flaky crust to the perfectly, and I mean perfectly spiced apple filling, we'll have no stone unturned in our quest for pastry perfection. But we don't want to keep this delectable delight to ourselves. We encourage you to like and share this recipe with fellow baking enthusiasts, spreading the joy of apple pie making far and wide. After all, what's better than sharing a slice of homemade goodness and seeing the smiles it brings? So let's roll up our sleeves, gather our ingredients, and put on your apron and embark on this delectable journey to make an apple pie that will have everyone ask you for seconds. Let's get started. Preparation. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees. Gather all the necessary ingredients. For the crust, 2.5 cups all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 cup unsalted butter, cold and cubed, 6 to 8 tablespoons ice water. For the filling, 6 to 7 large apples, peeled, cored, and sliced. 3/4 cup granulated sugar, 1/4 cup all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 2 tablespoons unsalted butter, cut into small pieces. For the egg wash, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon milk. Now that you have everything ready, let's move on to making the crust. Crust. In a large bowl, combine the flour and salt. Add the cold cubed butter to the bowl and use a pastry cutter or your finger to cut the butter into the flour mixture until it resembles coarse crumbs. Gradually add the ice water, 1 tablespoon at a time, and mix until the dough comes together. Be careful not to overmix. Divide the dough into 2 equal portions, shape them into discs, and wrap each disc in plastic wrap. Refrigerate the dough for at least 30 minutes to allow it to chill and become easier to work with. Filling. In a separate bowl, combine the sliced apples, granulated sugar, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, and lemon juice. Toss until the apples are evenly coated. Let the apple mixture sit for about 15 minutes to allow the flavors to melt together. Assembly. Take one of the chilled dough discs and roll it out on a floured surface to fit a 9-inch pie dish. Place the rolled out dough into the pie dish and trim any excess dough hanging over the edges. Pour the apple filling into the pie dish and spread it evenly. Dot the top of the filling with small pieces of butter. Topping and crimping. Roll out the second chilled dough disc on a floured surface. You can either place it on top of the pie as a full crust or create a lattice pattern. For a full crust, carefully place the rolled out dough over the filling, trim the excess dough, and crimp the edges using a fork or your fingers to seal the pie. For a lattice pattern, cut the rolled out dough into long strips, lay half of the strips horizontally across the filling, and weave the remaining strips vertically over and under the horizontal strips to create a lattice pattern. Trim the excess dough and crimp the edges. Egg wash and baking. In a small bowl, beat the egg and milk together to create an egg wash. Brush the top crust or lattice pattern with an egg wash, ensuring or even coating. Place the pie on a baking sheet and transfer it to the preheated oven. Bake for 15 minutes at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, then reduce the oven temperature to 375 Fahrenheit and bake for an additional 35 to 45 minutes or until the crust is golden brown and the filling is bubbly. Once baked, remove the pie from the oven and allow it to cool on a wire rack for at least 2 hours to let the filling set. Tips and tricks. Here are some tips and tricks to help you make your apple pie even better. Choose the right apples. Select apples that are firm and crisp, such as Granny Smith or Honey Crisp, as they hold their shape well during baking. Avoid using apples that are overly sweet or soft, as they may turn mushy. Keep the dough cold. Cold dough is easier to work with and results in flakier crust. Make sure to chill the dough before rolling it out and handle it as little as possible to prevent it from becoming too warm. Don't skip the chilling time. Allowing the dough to chill in the refrigerator helps relax the gluten and solidify the fats, resulting in more tender and flaky crust. Aim for a minimum of 30 minutes of chilling time. Use a mix of spices. While cinnamon and nutmeg are classic apple pie spices, feel free to experiment with other flavors like cardamom, ginger, or allspice to enhance the taste of your filling. Pre-cook the apples. To prevent a soggy bottom crust, consider pre-cooking the apples for a few minutes before filling the pie crust. This helps to release excess moisture and ensures that the apples are cooked evenly. Add a touch of acidity. Adding a splash of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar to apple filling can help balance the sweetness and brighten the flavors. Ventilate the pie. Whether you're using a full crust or a lattice pattern, make sure to create vents in the top crust to allow steam to escape while baking. This helps to prevent the filling from becoming too watery. Use an egg wash, brushing the top crust with an egg wash, and it gives the pie a beautiful golden color and a shiny finish. Protect the edges. To prevent the crust from over-browning, cover the edges of the pie with aluminum foil or a pie crust shield for the first half of the baking time. This will help the edges to bake evenly. Allow the pie to cool completely. Although it may be tempting to dive right into your freshly baked pie, allowing it to cool completely before slicing will help the filling set properly, making it easier to cut and serve without falling apart. Remember, practice makes perfect. Don't be discouraged if your first attempt isn't flawless. Enjoy the process and learn from such experience, and soon you'll be making apple pies like a true pro. Congratulations on completing your apple pie making adventure like a pro! We hope this detailed video has empowered you with the knowledge and skills to create a mouth-watering apple pie that will be the talk of the town. Remember, practice makes perfect, so don't hesitate to experiment with different apple varieties and spice combinations to customize your pie to perfection.